What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of Auto Auction Rebuilds, where today we're finally going to start working on the Dodge Dart. The Dodge Dart. This is a good way to start a video, isn't it? So to start out with, I know my shop is a mess. I've heard all of you say it's disorganized, and I am going to work on getting it straightened up and organized. There's been a lot of work going on around here, behind the scenes, stuff that you guys haven't seen. We definitely gotta clean it up. Now I moved these tables back to give myself some more room, move that out of the way, open up these back doors here. And I even went through and cut down some of the trees that were back here, trying to allow for a little better airflow back here and hopefully keep some of the pests away with all the shade. A lot of these limbs were in the way. A lot of them were blocking this path back here to the back of the shop, this lot back here. So I just cut everything down that was in the way to make it a clear shot through there and to give me a little more space to kind of breathe over here as well. So, quick update, I have not talked to the city yet. I have called them numerous times. They are not returning my calls, so I'm gonna have to go down to the city. But if you notice, there's nothing really left out here anymore. We got the Audi, the trailer. The trailer is legal. It's tagged. It's not broken down or anything, so the trailer is completely legal. That Dodge Dart we're gonna get moved soon, and I think I'm gonna have that Audi moved tomorrow. So we should have the lot cleared. That is my solution to the problem. They don't want junk cars, problem cars here. My landlord was really cool. My landlord is literally right around the corner. I mean, literally less than, I'd say 3 or 4 blocks. And he said, Randy, man, you can keep your cars over here. So I got all my cars stored. He's got a gated fence. It's all gated. I got a key to it. So big shout out to him for allowing me to use his space. He's got an acre of land. And it's all fenced and locked up, so that's where all the cars are going. From now on, they'll be over there. They won't be here. This will be nothing more than a shop for working on these cars. So now that we got all that out of the way, the truck is still giving me major issues. I finally got a code to pull up, a code 36, which is something to the effect of a idle air control solenoid. You got me, man. I don't know. The thing's just running horrible. The thing is, it wasn't running that bad when I put when the old throttle body was on it. So we still got work to do on that. But for right now, the first thing we got to do on this is cut the hood open. The hood is, I ran over the bumper. Wish we'd gotten that on camera. The whole bumper got run over. I am a little concerned that the subframe on this may be damaged. We're not going to know until we actually get it up in the air. We've never had it in the air before. But to get started, I want to cut this hood off. I want to get the hood off of the car completely, cut the airbags out so it's easier to maneuver. And then we'll start taking some of the stuff on the front off so we can get a better idea of what's going on underneath here and whether or not the subframe is even good. I'm thinking, honestly, it looks like the subframe is crunched. And if it is, that means, well, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that's the subframe right there that holds the engine and the transmission on. Well, we'll just have to get it up in the air and check. I'm hoping it's not, because I was thinking about just doing dropping the subframe with everything and swapping it out. But if this subframe is unusable, then obviously that's not what we're going to do. We're probably going to pull the engine and everything from the top. So to start with, let's see if we can't cut this hood open. All right, so the hood latch should be somewhere in this general area. I don't know. So we're just basically going to start cutting until we find it. I think I need a new battery on this thing. Come on. All right, let's see if we nailed it here. Well, we're in, but we did not make it to the hood latch like I was hoping. Well, this thing is just, it's crumpled up pretty bad, guys. I see where the hood latch is. It's right under here, so we're in the right spot, but I think we're gonna have to do some more cutting here. All right.
Man, damn.
All right, I'm gonna try this a different way, guys. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. My battery's going dead. I'm gonna see if we can't just, be nice if we could just move this out of the way here and cut the hood latch. Hood latch, I meant hood hinges. Let's see if we can give this a tap and there she goes. All right, that's one side. We're gonna try to just peel this hood back. All right, went out and got another grinder. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but we're gonna try to cut some more of this off here. All right, so right here is where our latch is. Well, what a pain in the, just to get the damn hood off, you know? This is ridiculous. Well, she's getting there. And that's how you take the hood off. Was getting the hood off so we can kind of see what we're working with under here a little bit better. Obviously, a lot of this stuff has got to come off. I'm about 99% certain the subframe is damaged to the point where we're not going to be able to use it. So that changes a lot of things for me here. So it looks like most likely we'll have to pull this from the top, which is not what I was wanting to do. I mean, we could still drop it out of the bottom, then disconnect it from the subframe and everything. I don't know. I'd kind of rather just pull it from the top here as is right now. That way we know what we're getting into with the other one. That way, you know, once you've done it once, you know, you kind of done it a million times. You can get a better idea of what we're going to have to be doing with the other dart. A lot of this stuff's got to come off though, man. Like this plastic front clip and this intake box and all this crap all over the front that's just in our way. I'm half tempted to get the Sawzall out and just cut the front end off of this car. I think that'd be a lot quicker than taking bolts and stuff off. And at least then we can get to a lot more of the vehicle, see what we're working with here. All right, next thing I'm going to attempt to do is get this intake box off. Trying to make a little more room for me to work under here. The good thing is this thing's only got 40,000 miles on it, so I mean most of this stuff should come off fairly easily. It shouldn't be real greasy or anything under the hood here. That was easy enough. Now we can see a lot better like what we're working with down here. The cooling fan crashed into the exhaust. Doesn't look like there's any damage to anything under here at all. We may be able to pull this out through the top. It's going to be fun though, but we got to get all the stuff in front of the motor out of the way first. I think that'll give us a lot more room to work with. And I'm really thinking about just cutting the front end off of this car. There's no way I'm going to be able to get to at least a third of these bolts. There's just no way. No way. All right, we're going to continue on as my battery charges for the Sawzall and see if we can't get some of the stuff off. There we go. That's a little better. But cutting is more fun. All right, I'm gonna try. I don't know how well this is gonna work. My Sawzall is getting hot, but I'm gonna try to cut through this crash bar here. I can't get to the bolts because of the way the accident was. I don't think my Sawzall is gonna be cool with this. All right. That should be enough to, yeah, break that sucker right off. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's also worth mentioning, you should probably use gloves. So I just got a hell of a blister right there. That's gonna hurt later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're getting close to a point where I'm gonna stop for the day. I'd like to get it up on the lift first. We got a broken air conditioning line Over here, a broken coolant hose. I didn't even know it had a broken coolant hose. There's a broken coolant line over there. There's a ripped coolant line underneath. I like to try to save my lines if possible. I'm not quite sure how to pop this particular, there we go. There we go. See if we can loosen this up here. I would like to take this hose off without damaging it if possible. Like I said, if possible. There we go. I got a drip pan underneath it. Apparently it had already lost quite a bit of coolant from the accident, so it's not pouring coolant out or anything like that, but it is dripping. And we don't have to worry about the radiator. Radiator is no good anyway. See, no coolant coming out of it. So just move this hose out of the way here. I don't want to damage any hoses. We might need them later. But let's see, we should still have some tranny lines connected back here somewhere. There they are. There's always got to be one, doesn't there? Always got to be one. There we go. There we go. We'll pop this clip out of here. And we can pull all of this out once we get the wiring disconnected for the cooling fan. There we go. Pop this bad boy out right here. And we should be able to move this whole radiator and condenser out of the way. Voila, here's what we're left with. Broken hose. Hope it didn't damage the oil cooler or anything under here. Everything else seems to look all right down here. Heat shield got a little damaged. Got a little crease in the heat shield right here. Otherwise though, everything looks good. Except for the subframe. I'm not thinking we're gonna come out okay on the subframe. Not at all. Try to bleed off some of this coolant that's leaking so we don't have a mess on the floor later. So I guess now we'll clean it up. All right, so I thought I'd give you guys just a little bit closer look at what's going on here and the amount of damage. This is the crease here. I'm thinking maybe because of this damage, we'll replace this exhaust manifold along with the downpipe. I'm thinking about the oil cooler. It could have been tweaked. I don't know. We'll wait till we get the other one out of the other dart, take a look at it. We may end up replacing the oil cooler as well. But this frame on both sides, man, it's just been shoved over hard that way. Frame rail's tweaked there. This portion of the subframe down here is tweaked. This portion of the subframe right here is tweaked. And I think what we're gonna do to conclude this video is I'm gonna clean this mess up. I got a big mess here that I gotta get moved and cleaned up. Get the car in here, get it on the lift, let's get underneath it, take a look at it, see what's going on, and then we can make a decision as to whether we're going to try to drop the subframe, which we still may do. I don't know, but we obviously cannot swap subframes in this case. In fact, it kind of makes more sense on this car to pull the engine from the top. There should be plenty of room to do it with all this stuff out of the way. Pull the engine from the top, that way we leave the subframe, we leave the suspension, we leave the wheels. I'm gonna have to haul this thing probably to a scrap yard or something, or we'll get it down to Mike and we'll sell it as a shell. Somebody can sell the parts off of it or whatever if they want to. So we'll probably end up selling this as a shell once we get the engine and transmission removed. I think it makes more sense if we drop the subframe on this, there'll be no suspension. There'll be no way to move this car around. It's gonna make it difficult to load. And I think that's just, it's gonna cause more problems than we're gonna save by pulling the motor from dropping the subframe. Sorry, I'm jibber jabbering here. So I think we're probably just gonna pull this from the top. I think that makes the most sense right now. We'll see how difficult of a task that's gonna be. I think that's what we're gonna do. That way we leave the wheels on it, make it easier to transport, get down to Mike, sell the shell, and you know, let somebody else part it out or use it for parts or whatever. All I want out of it is the motor and the transmission. So, and I'm keeping the battery. I'm probably keeping the computer too, just as a backup, just in case. All right, let's clean this up. All right, boys and girls, here we go. Moment of truth, and it's exactly as we already knew. The subframe is no good. It's no good at all. Nasty wrinkle there. Nasty kink and wrinkle there. Subframe's it's in bad shape. And I mean, it's kind of disappointing because this would have been a lot easier if it's just a drop and swap. You know, that would have been great. But at the same time, like I said a minute ago, we have the issues of not having a suspension under the front end, and that can be problematic. So unfortunately and fortunately, I guess, we're going to have to figure out how to get this engine out from the top. I don't think this is going to be all that hard, guys. I really don't. I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks like we can disconnect this trans mount right here, or over here, really anywhere. Disconnect this transmission mount from the subframe. That will release that. I don't see, what do we got over here? I don't really see anything else, so there's going to be upper mounts, I'm sure. I know we got one on the driver's side. Do we have another mount under here that holds the engine on? It doesn't really look like it. Obviously, we'll have to take off the CV axles. Yeah, CV axles have to come out. The exhaust will have to drop down from right there. Compressor and everything should stay exactly where it is. There's a mount up there we'll have to disconnect. I'll have to do a little research, make sure I'm not missing anything as far as mounts go, but it really looks like this whole thing's just gonna come out as one big happy assembly, and then we can just drop it into the other car. At least that's the way it looks. Now maybe some of you have experience doing this, maybe some of you have pulled these 2.0s out of these darts from the top, and maybe you could share some of your advice in the comments. I'd surely appreciate it, but for now, looks like we're well on our way. That makes me happy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for this video. I certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch. It's the end because I got something big to do today. I just got a new house, much nicer house. We're talking way, way more nice, way, way more beautiful. Whew, it's hot over here today, man, let me tell you. On top of that, I kind of tore up my hand a little bit. I should have used gloves. I couldn't find them. Damn gloves were sitting right on that shelf over there the whole time. And they're not hurting anymore. They're just leaking this sticky fluid everywhere. It's really more of an aggravation than anything. So I think I just need to calm down for today, go sign this new lease. No, I'm not buying. Guys, I'm 40 years old. I'm not going into a 30-year mortgage. I'll be 70 before it's paid off. Assuming the channel continues doing well and growing at the rate it's growing, you know, maybe in the next couple of years, I'll buy a house for cash or something like that, you know, but for right now, that's just not on the table. So finally moving on up into a nicer house. I'll give you guys a tour of it later, but I won't be disclosing where it is. Again, I will tell you this, it's got AT&T fiber optic internet. So I can actually shut the phone down here, shut the internet here. The internet and stuff here costs $300 a month, guys. Yeah, so we'll be shutting all this down, getting everything set up at the house so I can do all my editing. Computer won't have to be here anymore. All this will be done at the new house. I've got literally a pond right in front of, next to my house. Right next to my house is a pond. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous house. Nicest place I ever lived. And it took a lot of work, not just for me, but for my fiance, Jessica. We've been kicking behind on our credit. Man, we got a lot of stuff taken care of with her credit, with my credit, and we both have been working really hard. We finally got to a point where we can move up in the world. So this isn't a one-man show here. Big shout out to my fiance. She may not want to be on camera, but she's a big part of making all this possible for me and for her. Keep in mind, boys and girls, you may not know this, but I grew up in a trailer park. All right, Dimmick Court in Midwest City. That's kind of where I came. I started out middle class. My dad's cheated on my wife. I'm leaving that in. My dad cheated on my mom, got another woman pregnant, and you know, he ended up leaving and having a family with her, left us out to dry. We ended up in the trailer park, man. And I got no shame in my background. There's no shame in my past. It is what it is, where I grew up. I also spent some time in the hood. I spent a lot of time in the hood. And you know, one thing I learned throughout all my experiences in life is people are people. Honest God, people are people, regardless of color, regardless whether you're straight, gay, bi, trans, whatever the other things are now. No offense intended, but I can't keep up with all the things going on today. I can barely keep up with my cars. But regardless of what you believe in as far as religion, or whether you don't believe in anything, it doesn't matter to me, man. I got a really open mind because of the lifestyle. I grew up in the country too. I spent a lot of time in the country, you know, on a ranch where we killed our own animals. And I know I'm getting off track here, but the point kind of is this. I've grown up around a lot of different types of people, from thugs to country boys and country girls, as city slickers, and I've been around. And one thing I've learned is it doesn't matter, you know, like where you live. It doesn't matter where you come from. You can be whatever you want. I know the odds are stacked against us, people that don't have money. Obviously, you start out with money, it's a whole lot easier in life, but I don't think you appreciate what you have nearly as much as when you got to struggle for it, as when you don't, you know, as a kid, not knowing if I was going to eat that morning, not, you know, I mean, I knew we weren't going to have any heat, not knowing if we're going to have any water. You know, it was rough, real rough growing up. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me neither, because I don't feel sorry for myself. It made me who I am today. It made me a stronger person. It taught me to be able to overcome obstacles that are always coming down and finding me. And chances are a lot of you are facing some of the same things, and maybe you're a kid out there watching this, and there's hope for you. Young man, young woman, young lady, and even if you're grown, whatever. It took me to my mid-20s before I finally grew up and started getting my life straight. Believe me when I tell you I made a lot of mistakes. I'm sorry for the mistakes I made, and all I can do is try to be a better person and make the environment I'm in now a better place for other people. Now, whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know, but it helps me sleep at night. So with that being said, guys, like the video if you enjoy the content. Subscribe to the channel if you're not currently subscribed. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Auto Auction Rebuilds. I certainly appreciate it. And I want to thank all of you as well for making all this possible. It doesn't look like much right now, but we're making moves and things are happening, and I plan on keeping on, because that's what I've been doing since my childhood, and it seems to be working right now. So thanks to all of you. I appreciate it. Stay safe out there, buddy. We'll catch you as soon as we can in the next one, because I'd like to get the next video being of this engine and training coming out. Stay tuned. Stay safe out there, everybody.